Notre Dame's football winning streak is at 19 games this morning in spite of the best efforts of a freshman quarterback named Todd Marinovich, who plays for Southern California. Notre Dame and Southern Cal have what I believe is called a bitter rivalry. The bitterness showed up even before the game started as the players were coming out onto the field. Once that unpleasantness ended, young Marinovich started shredding the Notre Dame defense with pinpoint passes. And Southern Cal led 17-7 at the half. Early in the fourth quarter, Notre Dame took the lead on a 35-yard run by Anthony Johnson. But the kid quarterback did it again for Southern Cal. And the Southern Californians took the lead again. Notre Dame has a quarterback too. His name is Tony Rice, and near the end of the game, he ran the ball himself toward a winning touchdown that he really wanted and got. The Irish squeaked through 28-24. Alabama ended Tennessee's 10-game winning streak, 47-30. Illinois beat Michigan State 14-10. Arizona upset Washington State 23-21. Texas Christian upset Air Force 27-9. SMU, playing its first season after being suspended from football because of rules violations, lost to Houston 95-21. Yes, 95-21. Houston gained 1,021 yards, an all-time NCAA record. The World Series resumes Tuesday, probably. Depends on Candlestick Park being ruled safe, depends on the mayors of Oakland and San Francisco saying yes, and it depends on the weather, which is apt to be rainy. Let us check the morning's vital signs for the lower 48. Nippy in the northeast today. The temperature will rise only into the 40s in northern New England, only into the 50s as far south as Maryland and Delaware. Warming to the south and west, except for Washington and Oregon. Washington and Oregon will be hit by a very strong storm today. Heavy rain will extend into northern California as well. It'll be a lovely day in most of the rest of the country with southerly winds and sunshine. There may come a stray shower to the lower Tennessee Valley, and there will be a few showers or snow flurries in the hills of northern Vermont and New Hampshire. The West Coast storm will become even worse tomorrow. High wind, heavy rain, the worst of it north of the San Francisco Bay, but the Bay probably will have a wet, raw day too tomorrow. Continued sunny and warm in the plains and warming in the east tomorrow. There can be no question how we will remember last week. We'll remember it for the force that made the lines that are on this piece of paper. Last Tuesday at 5:04 in the evening, Pacific Standard Time, the earth shook around San Francisco. 7 minutes later, at a laboratory on a bluff above the Hudson River in New York, a wire-thin needle jumped in wild sympathy with the quaking earth and made this tiny record of the violent movement a continent away. And not only seismographic needles jumped in sympathy, it must be that every heart in the country jumped too. The one thing we count on always is the solid earth underfoot, the earth on which we stand and build, on which we live. Disaster may rain down on us from above, may blow in from some other quarter to hit us broadside. It may overtake us from behind or come at us head on. Against all that, we try to steel ourselves. We batten and brace and hunker down for safety's sake. On the earth itself, we dig in. But the force that made the needles jump last week and all our hearts came from below, from the earth to which we cling, and shook everything more profoundly for that reason. Here are the Earth's vital signs on a bit of paper. In a couple of minutes now, we'll try to translate these markings into human terms.
This portion of Sunday Morning is sponsored by GE. We bring good things to life. Is it going to be scary?
There was a time when you had to prepare a child for exploratory surgery.
Will you stay there with me?
Calm his fears, soothe his anxieties.
Mom, I want to go home.
Come in.
Comfort him when he imagined the worst.
Can I bring Sam?
Sure.
Well, today it's a lot easier because the exploratory can be performed without a scalpel, without anesthesia, even without a hospital stay. If it's performed by the magnetic resonance imager developed by GE, a remarkably simple way to give doctors a clear picture of problems that could only be diagnosed before with conventional surgery.
It's not serious. He'll be fine.
Ready to go home?
The MR imager from GE. It makes looking inside the human body easier for everyone.
See, Sam, that wasn't so bad.
GE, we bring good things to life.
By 6 o'clock Sunday evening, the contest was over. Europe's leading luxury car makers had asked America's luxury car owners a very simple question. Which car did they prefer driving? And in 8 important categories, they received a very simple answer. The new BMW 535i. Some would say it was no contest at all.
Excuse me, ever try this coffee?
Oh, no. I use special gourmet beans.
So do we.
But I roast them to perfection.
So do we.
I brew fresh, rich coffee.
So do we, but then we freeze dry it to lock in superior fresh brewed flavor and aroma until you release it.
Perfect. Who are you?
We're the only ones who do all this. We're Taster's Choice, the choice for taste.
What word do we use to describe an event which so changes everything we've ever taken for granted, everything, even up and down and left and right, that the result is an entirely different world than the one known up until then? There is such a word, though we very seldom need it. The word is earth-shaking. Anyone who's actually seen the earth shake knows that only incomprehensible power warrants that description. Last week in San Francisco, we saw the earth shake. David Culhane reports our Sunday morning cover story.
It is 5 days afterwards now. Day 5 in a city that has always been known for beauty. And for the terror that reaches up from time to time from beneath the streets to destroy the beauty of the city and its people.
Are not 5 sparrows sold for a few pennies? Yet not one of them is neglected by God.
Day 5, and now people are trying to come to grips with their grief and their fear.
In very truth, even the hairs of your head are counted. Fear nothing. You are worth more than a flock of sparrows.
They mourn the dead trapped in the collapsed highway at Oakland. They grieve for the dead in Santa Cruz. They pray for their own dead here in the Marina District of San Francisco, and for the 8,000 people left homeless in this area. Mrs. Rosalie Kirby.
A couple of families that we know came home and found their homes. They got there and, oh my God, it's not there anymore.
You cannot stay in your building tonight.
Each day now, they remember new details of the earthquake that were suppressed in their memories. Details that will be with them for all of their lives. Dr. William Lockyer.
I don't know how it happened, but a man crawled out just as the building was falling, but he knew that his wife was still in there. I think the look of his eyes was something I'll never forget in my life. The terror, total terror of not knowing what happened. I'm sure he didn't know what happened, and with his wife still inside this, and she died.
They are dealing with today's problems, but their minds drift back inevitably. And they tell you, this is where I was when it struck. Dan Melnick.
The building went down as if you were in an elevator, and the elevator had let go and then hit the ground floor, and it was just that hard that I hit.
8-year-old Riaz Taplin.
What were you doing?
Playing with Legos, and when the earthquake hit, I snuck under my bed, or the school told me to get under something right away.
What did it feel like?
Like a bulldozer coming up from one side and knocking it over.
It wasn't believable. Even when you saw it, it was unbelievable.
Stephanie Antonini.
So being on top of a hill and looking down at your neighborhood and you see a ball of fire, you just don't know where it is, and I just assumed it was my neighborhood. And driving home, a girlfriend drove me home, and I kept looking down the blocks to see where the fire was, and as we got closer, it was right on our street. And I just saw the street and realized that we live on the right side and it was on the left side, and just keeping my fingers crossed.
Before the earthquake on Tuesday, all that Stephanie Antonini was thinking was that her wedding to Jeffrey Moen was only 4 days off. But on Wednesday morning, she found that the police, warning that buildings might collapse, had sealed off her whole block, including the family house, with the wedding dress in it. If you do not get your dress, are you going to get married on Saturday?
Well, we haven't crossed that yet. We think that we'll be able to get the dress, but most definitely we'll get married Saturday.
Regardless.
Even if I wear this.
Stephanie and Jeffrey were planning for a honeymoon in Hawaii.
Where are the tickets for Hawaii?
In the house!
So what you're saying is, earthquake or no earthquake, life is going to go on.
You better believe it. We are going to have a celebration. Life. Right.
Everyone in the Marina District of San Francisco is trying to get back into the rhythm of life.
I mean, now you understand?
But it's not easy.
A lot of history.
The memory that's with me is the fear that somebody had died.
Russ Taplin is still troubled, still wrestling with those memories.
I just lay awake, thinking that somebody was trapped in the building, and everybody wanted to be with somebody. They knew no one wanted to be alone. The need for human contact that night was as intense as you could possibly imagine. But the major satisfaction for myself was this morning when we learned that no one had been killed.
Dan Melnick just moved to California 2 months ago. He got out of the window as his building began to collapse. He too is troubled, as if by a nightmare.
I might run into a hassle because I don't have any identification. What can I prove except that my landlady can vouch for me?
So all of your ID is gone, in effect?
Well, at this point, if I'm not able to get in and not able to recover anything, then I'm really kind of a non-person at this point, and I'm at the mercy of the system.
Rosalie Kirby came through it all herself, but she's still moved by the sense of communion born of the ordeal.
Everybody's busy, and something like this comes along, and by God, you know, those houses are tied together like a chain. I mean, you know, you become one solid human being.
Now Rosalie Kirby glories in the rescue of all her friends.
We got a lady on oxygen, and she was running out of oxygen, and so by that night, Pat took her over to Letterman and got some oxygen for her, and she's now put up in a hotel by her doctor, and so she and her husband are taken care of.
So I went through the 1906 earthquake, but I don't remember any such confusion.
The woman is Vera Delaney. She and her husband Ira are both 86. And the doctor who put them into a hotel is Bill Lockyer.
Yeah, there's no one there now. I know the Kirbys across the street left.
Yeah, she called me.
The Vecchiolas have gone. I mean, all the neighbors, it looks like a ghost town there. There isn't a soul around there. But that's also why I didn't want you around there. There's no one there in case you need something, you know.
But I'm just so unhappy, Doctor.
Well, it's very scary. It's scary, yeah. It's frightening, and you're right. Like you said, you're too old to go through another one like this. Hi, Dr. Lockyer. First thing I want to
Dr. Lockyer was so busy in the first days that he was probably the last one to feel the emotional
If I
aftershocks.
have to transport her myself, I'm going to transport her. It's absurd. You go to bed in the night, and the slightest motion of a plant, and you're wondering, oh God, is this going to come again? Or you just, there's no semblance of normality at all. Yes, fear is, I think if people were not somewhat afraid that there's something very wrong there.
In a city known for its beauty, terror does reach up from time to time from beneath the streets. It reaches up at the houses and the people. Dan Melnick lived here. Russ Taplin owned an apartment here. Yesterday, the house was torn down because it was so close to collapse. Dan Melnick.
You know, nothing can blow me down when you get through something like this, because you're a survivor. You've gone through, you see things from a little different perspective. The Lord's able to work all these things out, and I'm going to be able to get through it. I'm alive, I'm here, there's a purpose in life, and I'm going to get through it, and He has everything in control.
Russ Taplin has kept his son, Riaz, with him almost all the time these past few days.
This is one way of teaching my son that it's a real event. It's not an abstraction. It's a real event. And maybe even watching how I'm dealing and coping and trying to help, he will learn to do the same things as he gets older.
In other words, to care about other people, but to cope.
And, yeah, to pick up and go on.
On Friday, Stephanie Antonini was allowed back into her house. She found her wedding dress, and she wore it yesterday when she married Jeffrey Moen at a church in the Marina District of San Francisco.
The feeling is calming, comfortable. There's some inner sense of satisfaction. It's like holding a well-made, perfectly balanced tool. The joy is feeling connected to it. That's the idea. That's the sense of it. That's what it feels like to drive one. Infinity.
Late one night in 1953, in a darkened GE laboratory, a remarkable breakthrough occurred. An experiment in liquid polymers took an unexpected turn. Dan Fox, the young scientist who found it the next morning, had no idea what it created. But it was crystal clear and incredibly strong, even under the most extreme conditions. It was Lexan, the first of GE's engineered plastics. Plastics that would soon make it possible for architects to express themselves more brilliantly. It would make a car designer's best ideas even better, and help doctors in their life-saving work. Because what Dan Fox had discovered was something we at GE have always believed. You never know where the next great idea will come from, or how far it will take you.
An automotive designer looks at the shapes of nature, the soft lines, and because he sees things a certain way, those lines suggest an automobile design that is honest and natural, and where the driver is more important than the car itself. And what is discovered, just watching nature, is an ancient Japanese notion of what is beautiful. It's called infinity.
Tonight, passions explode when an old love affair turns deadly.
There must be some other way.
Mike Connors guest stars on Murder, She Wrote. Then, your child has been violated.
Which one of them hurt you?
They all did.
How could it happen? Who do you turn to? And when do the nightmares stop?
It's their fault. They did it.
We should have known.
Pam Dauber, John Shea.
We don't let people hurt us in this family.
A film every parent should see. Do You Know the Muffin Man? Tonight.
This is CBS.
I borrowed $200 to take her on a honeymoon to Colorado Springs.
Borrowed from me.
From her? Because I was flat broke.
You see who's the money manager.
First Minnesota, taking the family into account.
A lot of dreams. I don't know how many are going to come true, but I've got a lot of them. We'll see. I want a Ferrari with my 5 kids. It's a great family car, I think. Maybe not, though.
First Minnesota, taking the family into account.
At NSP, we work hard to bring you the most reliable energy every day. For 80 years, you've taken us for granted. And that's the way we want to keep it. NSP, someone you can count on.
Debbie Fabian on Channel 4's Weekend Report.